at it again, and we've talked about polls a lot recently, and rightfully so. But I came across this clip that I really want to show you guys because it is absolutely hilarious. I mean, you guys are going to be just shaking your heads at it the entire time, but I have to show you guys. I could not go without showing you guys this clip. Like, share, comment, hit that subscribe button if you are new. And let's dive in.
What would a second Donald Trump term look like?
Well, he cannot be the next president because if he is...
You can't imagine the things that he's going to do. Mexico, Canada. We can't go to Canada because eventually Canada will become annexed to America.
And shoot visitors to the White House. Yeah, that means he can shoot the First Lady.
We're going to see violence, the likes of which we did.
Yo, they said he would pine box the First Lady. Like, you know you're at a different level of desperation when you're saying some wild stuff like that. What? My goodness, man. My goodness.
That means he can shoot the First Lady.
We're going to see violence, the likes of which we didn't even see on January 6th.
Oh, you mean like fiery but mostly peaceful? You mean those types of riots? Of course. You know, silly me.
Make it illegal to run against him, to throw his opponents in jail, to shut down the media.
He will make himself into the Fuhrer, and he will make everybody raise their hand and salute him.
Using martial law against the American people.
Terminate the Constitution.
To rewrite the Constitution.
Create mass internment camps.
Throw everyone into Gitmo.
Might be sent to jail or their rights might be suppressed, especially minorities.
It's funny that they said throw everyone in camps, but y'all remember Democrats were talking about that for a little bit. Allegedly, there was stories that were coming out that were saying, I forgot where it was, but they were allegedly building some camps to isolate individuals who had the beer bug. Yeah, y'all remember that? Or remember hearing a story about that? I do. How true it was, I'm not sure. But if that was true, I mean, but Trump's the bad guy? Y'all were building camps? I don't know, man.
Minority groups in society.
You might have any number of things happen to you and your family.
Every one of us, our freedom, our liberty, none of us is safe.
He's going to have people around him executing against an enemy's list.
Assassinate generals.
Ordering troops to attack American citizens.
Trump's very well-armed and extremist base will try to kill people.
He's going to basically burn the house down.
He will unravel the institutions of our democracy.
Draw similarities between Mussolini and Hitler.
Adolf Hitler and Benito Mussolini.
Makes Donald Trump even more dangerous.
Wants to take away your vote. Senate and the House are immediately going to be paralyzed.
People will begin in their minds to censor themselves. They might say, well, maybe I shouldn't say this.
This is the end of democracy. Yeah.
I think that could be the end of our democracy.
But democracy is dead if Trump is reelected.
Cozy up to Putin that democracy will be at risk.
The absolute destruction of the Justice Department as we know it.
The Justice Department could be entirely transformed.
I am really concerned about that.
Every person who was associated with the attempted coup elevated in the administration.
If he's reelected, he will curb transgender rights.
The end of the rule of law.
Arrest political opponents.
To persecute, not prosecute, but persecute.
Arrest political opponents? Goodness gracious, I'm talking like Joe Biden right now. Kind of sounds like what they're doing to Trump, trying to arrest a political opponent, a leading political opponent at that, a political opponent that is breaking records at that. Because if you guys remember, we checked out a clip yesterday, I believe it was yesterday, and they were talking about how it's actually historic what Trump is doing in the Iowa caucus polls. Historic. He has such a lead that it is historic, breaking records with all these indictments, all of these accusations, and all of this bombardment of how terrible he is. He is breaking records, which I am sure scares them to their core. Scares them to their core. I'm sure they have had all types of secret meetings and what can we do? What are we going to do? And I've got more to say about that at the end of this clip. So stick around. I'm going to save that thought.
His enemies
Take a wrecking ball to the rule of law.
He's going to make the law. Everyone else will have to follow.
A vote for Donald Trump may mean the last election that you ever get to vote in.
To go after the independent and free parts of American civic life.
He would tear down our institutions.
Purge the government of employees.
Department by department effort to weaponize the powers of the government.
To use the military to quash protests.
Ridding the government of all democratic safeguards.
Junking American democracy as we have always known it.
That he would try to stay in office beyond a second term. That he would never leave office.
There's no question.
Trump is reelected, he won't leave.
Donald Trump will never leave office voluntarily.
And what that means is that everybody who wants us to remain a republic has to put every other thing aside and work together urgently right now to stop that from happening.
Nah, what we need to do is stop them and make sure they don't stay in office. But I do believe the Democrats in the establishment are stuck between a rock and a hard place right now. And I'll explain what I mean by that. So, obviously, they know that they are everything that they accuse Republicans of doing and being, and Trump of doing and being, more, to be specific, because even all I would say there's only maybe, and this is pushing it, 30 good Republicans, people that I would actually consider good Republicans, and that's between the House and the Senate, and that includes Donald Trump. Like people in politics that, are in that world, right? I would say maybe 30. And that's pushing it. That is a stretch. 29 and 30 are a little shaky. They're a little shaky. But if we're being serious, there's only about 30. Tops. Realistically, it's probably closer to 25. But anyway, the establishment knows that they have pushed too far. They have woken up a sleeping giant. And once Trump gets back in office, it's all bets are off. Because you've opened that Pandora's box now. You've tried to prosecute him now for BS. So it's only right that he spins the block on the establishment, right? It's only right that he returns the favor. And we checked out a clip where a guy had said that those exact words, like don't do this to Trump and not expect him to spin the block, right? Which spin the block just means returning the favor, right? Eye for an eye, kind of sort of thing. And so they know that. They know that, and they see what we see. Hold on, I'm going to bring this up on the big screen. Here we go. They see what we see. You see that? Georgia, Trump up by 6. Pennsylvania, Trump up by 2. Michigan, Trump up by 4. Wisconsin, Trump 4. Nevada, Trump 3. Arizona, Trump 4. North Carolina, Trump 9. They see what we see. Trump up in the aggregate by 2.3 points. There has been 2 polls in the past 30 days. 30 days. That have Biden winning. 2. Yeah. They see what we see. They see this movement. They hear this movement. Trust me, they're probably deeper into that. Well, I know they are deeper into this than we all are. Okay. And so when I think about it, when I try to think about it from their perspective, it's like, do we let Trump win and get thrown in jail for the rest of our lives, or just have to flee the country? Or do we go the route that we want to go and risk angering an entire country in having the whole threat to democracy line go down the drain. Because if we go this route, everybody's going to know. It's not just going to be the MAGA extremists that are the conspiracy theorists and the crazies. It's going to be way too obvious if we do it. But we almost have to if we want to stay on this land. We're going to have to if we want to stay here. And the whole rhetoric, the whole threat to democracy stuff, that's going to go out the window. So how do we deal with that? See, what I think Democrats would have loved to have done is had taken their time with this, right? It's like what Jordan Peterson said a long time ago. You guys probably aren't going to remember this video. I've recorded so many. But Jordan Peterson in one video said, I forgot what exactly he was talking about. I think it was about the establishment, right? And the establishment will push until you resist. Then they'll back off and leave it alone. They'll say, see, look, we're not doing anything. And then they'll come back and they'll push a little bit further until we push back. Then they'll leave it alone. Oh, no. Hey, look, we good. Everything's, hey, we're okay here. Then they'll push a little bit further and back off. And they'll keep doing that until there's nothing left, until we're pushed to the edge of the cliff. And by then it's already too late. We look back and it's like we're falling off, but we can't go forward because the wall's already here. I think Democrats the establishment would have loved to have done that. But now they're forced to play their hand. They're being forced to speed up that process. And so they're stuck between a rock and a hard place. So my question to you all, what's the game plan? Do they anger an entire country and risk going, 500 people versus 300 million people? Do they say, you know what? We're going to let the republic play out the way that it's supposed to play out. We're going to let the chips fall where they may. If Trump wins, we'll just leave the country. Or if Trump wins, we'll just take our sentencing. What do y'all think? Or am I a lunatic? Maybe I'm crazy. I don't know. Y'all tell me. What do y'all think is going to happen with this whole situation? Talk to me. Because something crazy is going to happen. Something crazy. If they sit back and do nothing, well, they're getting arrested. If they don't, then everybody's going to know. Not just the MAGA extremist, right? Because that's what they love to label us, the MAGA extremists, the MAGA extremists. You know, whenever they say MAGA, they have to put extremist with it, right? They have to put extremist with the word MAGA, right? To try to make those two things synonymous. That's intentional. And I've talked about this before, which honestly disappoints me about, the Republican Party. Democrats employ a level of strategy that I'm honestly jealous of. I'm honestly jealous. Why don't Republicans do the same thing that the Democrats? It's so easy. Just repeat the same line. Literally, that's all you have to do. Repeat it. That's all you see Democrats do. Whenever something new comes out, they repeat the same line. Threat to democracy, threat to democracy, threat to democracy, threat to democracy. MAGA extremists, MAGA extremists, MAGA extremists. They all say the same thing. Like, I don't know. That would be super easy to me. But that's probably why I can't be in politics. Because, looking at some of these guys in the face and having them, you can't do that, bro. I would just cuss them out. Man, you effing, you. I'm tired of y'all soft little. I would lose my cool, man. I couldn't do it. I could not do it. I've seen some of y'all say, "Hey, Rich, man, you should hop into politics, man." Rich 24. Nah, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Nope. Not the way that it currently is. Not the way that it currently is, bro. I will hurt some feelings. I will hurt some feelings. I feel like I'm like Trump. Like I'm just gonna tell it to you how it is. I'm gonna give it to you straight, no chaser. All right. Forget about the politically correct stuff. Like I'm gonna give it to you straight, no chaser. If I think you being an effing idiot, I'm gonna call you an effing idiot. right? If I think you soft, I'm gonna call you soft to your face. Like the whole thing where I forgot his name. Where the guy got in Matt Gaetz' face. Y'all remember Matt Gaetz was, holding out on voting for Kevin McCarthy for Speaker of the House, and there was a gentleman who got angry and got in his face and was yelling and screaming. Man, look, nah, I'm gonna keep it PG. YouTube ain't gonna like me saying that too much. I'm gonna keep it PG. But I'm sure y'all can imagine. You know what I'm saying? Peace and love. I'll end it with that. But y'all let me know what do you think is going to happen come 2024 when it's time to have this next election. Y'all let me know. Oh, and here's another poll as well that just dropped, fresh off the presses. Yep. Since November 12th, this is the change. Trump +6, Biden -8. When you add in RFK Jr., Trump is +1, Biden's -6, and RFK Jr. is +4 since November 12th. Margin of error is 3. Trump's outside that margin of error here. He's outside the margin of error. I said error here as well. What's going to happen? Let me know. Peace and love, family. I'm out.